Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your host, MA, finally back with another episode of Heat Blogspot. Yes, it's been a week, but I want to thank you guys so much first because I've gotten over 100 views on my last video, Free Agents, talking about the Heat free agency. So, thank you guys so much. That's the first video that's gone over 100. And I want to thank you guys, but this episode is all about trades now. We're moving over to trades, and yeah, that's just amazing. Thank you guys so much. Woo! Yes, guys. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. On YouTube, over almost 200 views already on my free agent video of the Heat that I released last week on Wednesday, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and sharing and whatever you guys are doing. Just keep doing it. I appreciate you guys commenting, leaving me questions, all that stuff. It's awesome. I see the work is paying off and it's finally coming together, and it's really cool to see a little community. We have our own little community now, and hopefully continues to grow and get bigger, because I mean, as we know, this season might end up being faster upon us than we must have known, but I'll get into that. But again, guys, just thank you so much. And real quick, I just want to remind you guys, whatever you're listening on, whatever you're doing, watching, please follow, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff wherever you're at. I appreciate it, as you know, from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate this, and it's awesome to see. So thank you guys so much. And I want to say, just let everybody know, you know, I think I'm gonna be leaning towards more YouTube now than anything. I still gonna release my episodes via podcast stations everywhere like Spotify and Apple and Google and all that good stuff. But I'm noticing that I'm more popular right now on YouTube, and I want to do more videos, and I want to get better at making videos. I want to put videos in it and probably put a little bit of music. I don't know. I want to pizzazz it up a little bit more for you guys, because you guys are putting the dedication to me, so I got to put a little bit more dedication for you guys. It's just a fair, even exchange, I think. So just look out for that. I think little by little, I will get better at this, and I will start to add more elements to these videos. So if you're listening on a podcast, be sure to check it out on YouTube. Be sure to follow on YouTube as well. I really appreciate it. And if you are already, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you guys. And if you haven't noticed already, guys, I have a new hat. Yes. I don't know if it's still on sale or if it's actually on clearance. But if you go to NBAstore.com, this legit hat, a new era hat, the legit hat is only $12.99, and they have almost every size still available. $12.99, and if you're on NBAstore.com like I am frequently, they always have deals. Like, they every day they have a coupon they give out, like 25% off if you spend over this much, or free shipping if you do this, or whatever the case may be. And this is not even I'm not even sponsored by them. I'm just letting you guys know, to get ready for the new season that might be upon us pretty soon, to get your gear, because we gotta have to step it up. And me too. I still got these Vice colors back here, and I know I gotta update this because I wanted to be the true Heat colors. But we had the pink Fisher, Vice color wave jerseys this past year, and then we had the blue ones this other year, this actual year that passed. So I was going with that theme, but I think I'm gonna upgrade it now, make it a more traditional Heat color. So look on the lookout for that as well. You might see that. But just want to let you guys know, new hat. There are my other hats that you see me wear. My beanie's somewhere else right now in the room, but whatever. And woo, that was a lot. But thank you guys. So real quick, there was some news, guys. I if you guys can follow me on Twitter and Facebook as well, because I do share news a little bit like that, and I retweet stuff, and it's hard to always be on top of stuff when you're a one-man operation while you're still trying to take care of the house you live in and still try to pay bills even though you're not working and stuff like that. So it's getting crazy out here for me, but I'm loving this, so I'm going to continue to try to do this for you guys. And so I will let you guys know that I am going to have a schedule now. So I will do a schedule. New episodes for me will come out every Wednesday and Friday. Now Friday, since there's like a day between Wednesday, the Friday episodes might be a little shorter, but it is what it is. You know, and I think that's why this Friday is going to be my draft episode, because I didn't watch college basketball enough this past year to really do a really good evaluation. So I'm going to make a short one, see who we might be targeting if we keep that pick, and see who some of these prospects are, But today's trades, and that's what we're going to focus on. But before we focus on trades, I want to let you guys know that Pat Riley addressed the Heat fans last Friday. And if you don't know, now you know. And it was just his basic, every summer he does this, and this year is not the summer, it's a different year. So this fall, he addressed us. And just to reassure the Heat fans that, he had a great year. He continues, he wants to keep doing this. He plans on doing this until our owner, Mickey Arison, decides to not have Pat Riley around anymore, which I don't know when that's going to happen, because the media, everybody keeps trying to put this guy down. And Pat Riley keeps winning, in one way, form, or another. He keeps winning. So you can't keep him down for long. And that's why I think he keeps coming back, because no one has been able to beat him, really. He keeps making it interesting for us and for himself and for this organization. So if it's working, don't break it or fix it. Just let it go as far as we can. And it's been a good ride so far. So just keep enjoying it. The media and everyone took his comment out of context. I'm sure you guys all know about this, really. He said there was an asterisk to the championship, but it wasn't towards the Lakers having an asterisk. It was towards really us, because, like I've been saying since the Heat lost in the finals, we're really never gonna know if we really could have won that championship, because Goran Dragic and Bam got hurt, and we weren't at 100%. And I've said this 100 times: if we were 100%. I truly, truly believe we would have beaten the Lakers in 7 games. Just me, and what I was looking on the court, what we needed, those guys could have brought at 100%. I really do believe that we could have won the championship. It is what it is, though. Not gonna argue this to death, But Pat Riley addressed us. He also talked about free agency a little bit, about our players and how he wants to take care of our players and everything like that. But he also reiterated that there's so much uncertainty right now still that we don't really know, but he's going to try his best to keep the team together while continue to grow it and be flexible for 2021, when there's going to be a whole bunch of free agents that are going to be really good, and we're going to have cap space to potentially sign these guys to add to our team. So he doesn't want to lose out on that, because he had a great success in 2010. Okay. Though we do have some news now that NBA has shared with us. We now know the draft date is going to be Wednesday, November 18th on ESPN, most likely at 8 p.m. So, and that's pretty cool. We finally got the draft date, which is kind of weird also, because the NBA announced that we might have the season starting around December 22nd or Christmas possibly, which is pretty darn close, honestly. And I feel, I think if anything, the pushback is going to be from the players that just finished playing, like the Heat players, the Lakers players, the Celtics. Anybody who got into the top 8 of the year probably still wants a break, or a little bit of a downtime to get back. But the NBA is really trying to get back as fast as possible to make up some money, get that revenue, and try to make as much money as possible to allow this league to continue to grow and expand and be successful in the future. You don't want to be too stagnant where you can't keep investing in your product. You have to now play safe, and that's sometimes cool and sometimes often not really cool, because we want more stuff to grow, but the NBA can't do that because of financial reasons. So it's a toss up, and the stars talking like LeBron James, talking like they might sit out the beginning of the season. That's what happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Butler's that person too, or Bam or Goran, if they need more time to get back to 100%. That could affect us, but it's not certain yet. It's not cemented on the wall. It's just a date that they're talking about, and they're still thinking maybe Martin Luther King Day, which is in January. I think January 18th, if I'm correct, that it could be a potential start date too, which is almost a month after that December 25th, 22nd date. So that's a couple more weeks for some rest. We don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel bad if it stays December, I feel bad for whoever gets drafted in November, because you got 4 weeks basically to go in there, learn the playbook, and try to make a name for yourself if you want to play fast and hard and be as good as possible as fast as you can. Or if not, you're just going to have to chill and try to learn this stuff as it goes, because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be pretty wild. But whatever, it is what it is. So guys, thanks again. Remember, Friday, I'll be coming out with my draft episode, so if you want to learn more about the draft and the Heat's prospects and who they might get, look it up. We got the 20th pick of the draft, which is honestly not a bad place to be. We can honestly move up or down from there. And 20, I feel like we can find a gem still. We found Bam at 14, Tyler at 13, 6 more picks away. Hey, and there's been some good picks throughout the years that have come in the 20s. So it's not out of the realm of impossible. All right, so what you guys really are here, because I'm sure the headline title of this video said trades or something like that. I don't know yet. So I'm sure it says trades, and you guys want to know about the trades. And before I really get into who we might trade for, I want to first get out the way who we're not going to trade for, because there's a lot of names floating around, and there's a lot of hope and praying and wishing. And like I said the last episode of the free agency, us Heat fans have a tendency to think that we can get anybody via free agency or even trade anybody for that somebody. And that's not the case, guys. And with this year being a very weird year, money-wise, we have some cap space, but we want to save some for next year as well. It's going to be a little weird. So let me first tell you guys who we exactly have on the books for next year. Like, who for sure, right now at this moment, is going to be a Heat player next year, bearing a trade. Jimmy Butler. His contract's about $34.3 mil. Okay? Andre Iguodala, $15 mil. Kelly Olynyk, if he picks up his option, which he most likely will, is going to be $12.1 mil. Tyler Hero, $3.8 mil, which is the first round late lottery pick salary. Bam Adebayo, $5.1 mil, similar to Tyler's basically, his contract, and that's his last year of the contract. So I didn't go into this last episode. I'll say this real quick. Bam might get an extension, but it doesn't really affect anything because Bam is untouchable and Tyler's untouchable. So let you guys know that now. Tyler and Bam are untouchable. I don't care. And depending on who we trade for. Now, Kendrick Nunn is also on the books, $1.6 mil. Duncan Robinson, same contract, $1.6 mil. KZ Okpala, $1.5 mil. And finally, Chris Silva, $1.5 mil. That means that Goran Dragic, Solomon Hill, Myers Leonard, Jay Crowder, Udonis Haslem, Derrick Jones Jr., and those guys are not on the books. That means they are going to be free agents and they can sign anywhere they want. We cannot trade these guys. We cannot move them because we do not have the rights to them. They are not signed to be in the Heat next season, so we cannot do anything with these guys unless we do a sign and trade. But honestly, I do not see that happening at all with any of these players. So it's not impossible, but I don't think it's possible. So we're not going to really discuss those kind of things. Now, also for some context, because this stuff does affect us, we do have some money, some dead money that's on the books next year. We got $5.2 mil going to Ryan Anderson because we amnesty claused him a couple years back, meaning that he is still getting paid by the Heat, unfortunately. And he's taking up some cap space, a lot of cap space. And then we also owe AJ Hammond's $350,000, which is not very much compared to, that's very little, honestly. But good for AJ Hammonds because he's probably relaxing somewhere. I would, enjoying getting $350,000 for nothing, for doing nothing. He's just chilling somewhere. So hopefully he's investing his money wise. And if you want, AJ, if you're watching, if you want to invest in this, baby, I would make a special segment of AJ Hammonds. I don't know, whatever you want. Well, we can discuss it. We do it all. So AJ, if you're listening, bro, if you want to share some of this money and invest it, holla at me. Thank you, brother. Anyways, all right. So that's what we got, guys. That's what we got. That's the money we have in the books. That's the money we can move. And I'm telling you right now, the three untouchables are Jimmy and Bam and Tyler, though Tyler is a little iffy depending on who we might get. And I'll get into that. So hold on to your butts, like Samuel L. Jackson said on Jurassic Park, Jurassic Butt. All right. So who are we not gonna get traded to? Who do we wish we can get, but for a lot of reasons we're not gonna get these guys. And let's go down this list. And it's a pretty big list, guys. Honestly, I'm going to try to get through as fast as possible, but I do want to explain a little bit to each player why we're not going to get this guy. So bear with me, and then we'll get to the trades. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Number 1, James Harden. Who wouldn't want James Harden on their team? Now, the problem with this is the Rockets, if you're the Rockets, who are you trading? Russell Westbrook or James Harden to rebuild and start over again and try to build around your superstar? It's not going to be James Harden. It's going to be Russell Westbrook. We definitely do not want Russell Westbrook. We know he's not going to help us in any way, shape, or form to our Heat basketball game. James Harden, on the other hand, will be great next to Jimmy and Bam. Like, honestly, when you think about that the final series, come on. If we had James Harden with Jimmy and Bam, we probably would be talking about a championship parade, or we probably would have went to the parade already. Been talking about how much fun we had at the parade, but whatever. But well, guys, he's a superstar. He's not getting traded. It is what it is. Now, Damian Lillard, one of my favorite players in the league. I love this guy's attitude. He, to me, would fit perfect with the Heat culture, and would be a great point guard. And he's like the Dirk Nowitzki of this generation. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to die a trailblazer. And I do hope one day in late in his career he gets a championship for that franchise, because he deserves it. Back in 2011, when Dirk beat us, you know what? It sucked that we lost. But I was happy it was to Dirk Nowitzki, because that guy is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. And I respected his game so much. I still do. That I watched his movie the other day, his documentary movie. It's on Tubi. If you guys don't know, Tubi. Watch his movie, and it talks about his whole life and how he got there, and just nothing but respect for the guy. I mean, the guy worked hard, worked for everything he's got. Probably should have never been there, but because he put the work in, he was able to last this long in the league and win a championship and win MVP. Nothing but respect, guys. So, and the same thing I have with Damian Lillard. But Damian Lillard we're not going to get, because same thing with James Harden. He's a superstar, and the Trailblazers are not going to trade that guy. And then I want to talk about his co-running mate, C.J. McCollum. Now, C.J. McCollum would, I think, honestly, C.J. McCollum would have helped us too. And he's not a bad player. I think he could help the Heat if he came to the Heat. My biggest hang-up on C.J. McCollum, though, is his contract and defense. But mostly his contract, because defense, I think that he could hide it and make him a better defender, because he has the tools to be. But his contract just lasts way too long. I think it has 3 more years in it, if that. And it's just not going to be worth it at this point. Like, it just won't. He's not going to make us better. And if we have to trade Tyler Hero for him, Tyler Hero is going to reach that ceiling or be higher. So, no. I don't think we need to trade for C.J. McCollum. And that's, again, we need to stay flexible for 2021. Now, next player. This guy, I hope to God one day we can get this guy, but who knows? The gods only know. And that man is Donovan Mitchell. Yes, Donovan Mitchell for the Utah Jazz, the young superstar, the spider, the guy who is basically, to me, Dwayne Wade 2.0, because he can shoot threes very well. And he proved that in the playoffs this bubble. If you don't go back to that series against Denver, I mean, that kid went off. Him and Jamal Murray were battling together. And, I mean, that kid would be so good for the Heat. So good. And I would trade Tyler Hero. This is one of the guys that I will trade Tyler Hero for. Again, the only 3 people I would trade Tyler Hero for is, like, I would for sure, like, no ands, ifs, or buts, like, just do it, would be Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, and James Harden. Those 3 only. If I'm not getting in those 3 back, I don't care. But he's so young. He's so good. He's a superstar already. Do you see Utah trading him? Nah. He's not, unless he says it comes out, but he's not thinking that anymore. He's too young. He's not even thinking about that stuff. So Donovan Mitchell, guys, will not be trading for. Now this is a combo a little bit. Bradley Beal is in the talks for everybody, right? But honestly, guys, if I'm the Wizards, and I'm sure this is what they're doing, the Wizards are waiting for someone to say, if you take John Wall, you can take Bradley Beal. Because they don't want to be stuck with that contract of John Wall. Bradley Beal shows the light at the end of the tunnel for them, that if they can get this guy out of here with him, then perfect. You know what? They can start over again. At least they got the money back, and they don't have to worry about all that aspect. Now, that's too much for the Heat. We really don't know what John Wall is going to be. He wasn't the greatest offensive player of all time. When he was good. He's an all-star. He was really good, but his game was based off his athleticism. He tore his Achilles. He still hasn't played. He's getting back from that, and who knows what he's going to be. And I have to bet he's not going to be. He'll be a shell of himself, but he probably won't be able to stay consistent all year. And that's just. And I don't think that's a. And that's contract is huge. I mean, you have to pay him the $40 million for like the next 3 years. And does Bradley Beal and John Wall make his championship team? I don't think so, guys. It's not worth it. No. So no Bradley Beal, no John Wall, guys. Simple. Now, next. This is, and you know what? One more. This is the next one. Buddy Hield. Yes, Buddy Hield from Sacramento is on the trading block. I'm sure he did not have a good season there. He got benched and talked a lot of ish to the owner and demanded an extension and all that stuff. Now, Buddy Hield, though, I do think his shooting will be great for the Heat. I think the Heat can definitely use him. He could probably end up being Duncan Robinson or better because he has other offensive skills. He doesn't just not a shooter. He can do the Duncan Robinson stuff, but plus play off the ball, and he definitely proved that. But his contract, he just demanded that contract extension. If he was smarter, and didn't need the money so quickly, he would have just stayed a free agent. Who knows? Maybe we could have probably traded for him, but I think his contract just killed it, and we're not going to get him. Now, these next couple of people I'm going to mention that we're not going to trade for, we're not basically going to trade them because they're older and stuff like that. I'll get to it. But these are the older guys that I think their names are going to be floating around, but we shouldn't bite on it at all. Number 1, Blake Griffin. And he was good. He had a good year, 2-year season ago with the Pistons. I mean, he actually put up some all-star numbers to the point where he got all-NBA third team. Yes, all-NBA third team with the Pistons. He did. He was playing that well. I mean, and he was shooting very well from three-point land. He was creating offense off the block while dribbling. I mean, honestly, that guy next to Bam, ooh, that's scary. I mean, I could see Spo make some crazy plays with those guys. But he got hurt again this past season, and his contract's too big, so I'm not taking the risk. And his contract goes well past 2021. No. Sorry, Blake. As much as I think you can do well with us, your contract's way too big. Now, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is not a bad player. He's actually a pretty good basketball player. Really good, actually. But, you know what? Unfortunately, he's not growing into today's game, which means three-point shooting. He doesn't shoot threes. And when he does, it's not very well. So, as much as his contract will end after this next upcoming season, he'll be a free agent in 2021 and we'll be able to have cap space. Who we have to trade away for him to get to Miami would not be worth it, honestly. Yes, we'll have cap space in 2021, but who knows what we'll probably have to lose Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn. Most likely those two for sure to get DeMar DeRozan, and those guys still developing. Duncan Robinson especially, I think he can be a deadly shooter, like a deadly, like even better than he was because he can learn the lessons of what happened this past year. And, DeMar is just getting older and he's not looking like he's going to change his game anymore. So, no. Now, last guy that will be in the book, that will be in the talks, but we shouldn't do it. And it's Kevin Love from the Cavaliers. And as much as I like Kevin Love's game, because I think he is a good modern day big man, he can shoot the threes, rebounding, he's got a little bit of post game, he can pass very well, especially from full court passing. I mean, the guy has a cannon, but his contract messes up again. It messes up everything. As much as I think him and Bam, definitely again, another guy next to Bam will be awesome to see. I mean, too cool to see. It's just not worth it. Simple as that. Contract gets in the way. Sorry, Kevin. Sorry. You might be in Cleveland for a little while. All right. So those are the guys that we're not going to trade for. All right? Whatever. Get out the way. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Now, here are the trades where I think it might happen. I mean, legitly, it might happen because of numerous reasons I'll get into. And I wouldn't really be surprised if it happened. Honestly, me, myself, and I would not be surprised. And I got 5 players on this list. So let's go at it. And they're not in any particular order, guys. These are all the names I looked at and I thought, hey, some of them I will let you know I like more than others. But we'll get into it. Number 1, LaMarcus Aldridge. Yes, that one player from the Spurs who looks really old now, at 35. LaMarcus Aldridge, that big man. Pat Riley likes this guy. When he was a free agent before he signed with San Antonio, Pat Riley met with this man and tried to convince him to sign a 1-year contract with Portland or whoever he wanted. Sign a 1-year contract and become a free agent again so the Heat will sign him. Of course, he did not do it. He was like, "Are you crazy?" No. So he didn't do the trade. I mean, he didn't sign. He didn't do the thing that Pat wanted. He went to the Spurs, and he probably hates that decision ever since because he's not been having a good time there. Coach Popovich has been trying to work with him, and they got a little bit better, their relationship, but it just hasn't been a good union, and they have progressively gotten worse each year, which sucks, and Kawhi left and all that other stuff, and him and DeMar DeRozan are just old school players in a sense, and that's it. But I would say he's actually growing into today's game. Last year, he shot a lot of threes, and he shot it very well, people. He shot 39% from three-point land last year. 39%. That's pretty good. And I saw him shoot. I like his shot because he has a high release arcing shot, and he can play big. He's 6'11". The man averaged 18.9 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 2.4 assists in 53 games last year. I mean, that's pretty good numbers, honestly. Him and Bam, I like. Now, here are some of the cons I don't like. Here's one big con. He's old. He's not. I don't think he's gonna be fast. And today's game, I think he might get left behind. But it might be worth it because of his contract. So he only has 1 year left at $24 million, which is not a very high number compared to other stars that produce those kind of numbers. That's not bad. He also shot 49% from the field this past year, and shooting 82% from the free throw line. I mean, the guy can put buckets and put points on the board for you. Now, if I was going to do this trade, who do I think will get traded? Here we go. Here are my people, my list of people who I think we could trade for him. Andre Iguodala. Iggy, simply because he's a Spurs player. I can see Popovich wanting him to come. Hey, come to the Spurs. We're going to work hard. I need you to just, make these young players learn how to be professional, be good. You have a team option. You probably won't pick it up. You can leave, whatever you want. I can see that happening, honestly. I think they're going to want Iggy. KO, maybe, because Pop does like his shooting big men. I won't lie. But I really feel like Iggy will be the player they want more, honestly. Now, on top of that, I do believe we'll have to give up Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn for him, simply because of salary and because of matching talent. Iggy does not bring what was LaMarcus Aldridge bring. LaMarcus Aldridge is more productive than Iggy, so we gotta give him some players that actually produce. Now I can see Kendrick Nunn they will like because I think they want to get rid of Derek White or DeJounte Murray, and simply because it's their lineup is getting packed. They play similar games. They need other players to do other things. So, and then Duncan Robinson is a shooter, which is what everybody wants this in any team. So that's what I think that might be it. And you know what? I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. Is it worth it? Because we're losing players that are potentially going to leave in 2021 for a 1-year rental on LaMarcus Aldridge to see. To me, it would be an experiment to see if a big man next to Bam is what's needed. A shooting big man next to Bam is what's needed to really unlock how good this team can be. Is it that? This trade will show that. Now, my fear here is losing Duncan Robinson. But we don't lose Tyler Hero. We still have the 20th pick. And the 20th pick now can go to, there's been, again, the draft episode's Friday, but there's been a lot of talks that we might, we might draft a big guy. Now, if we make this trade, maybe on draft night, we don't have to focus on signing a big man, or drafting a big man, I'm sorry. We can focus on probably drafting a 3-and-D guy. Someone that can shoot a little bit, like Duncan Robinson. He was a sniper in college, but people looked at him, and he has some good defensive qualities. And I think that can be found in the 20th pick. I got to do my research again, but I think it's possible. At this time in my head, I think it's possible. So, do I think this happens, though? In the meter, from 1 to 5, it's a 1. I really do think it's a 1, and we'll see. I think the Spurs will love to do this trade, but I don't see it happening. So, we'll see. Now, next player. And this one's a little bit out of the realm, guys. So, remember, this is just me saying this. Like, there hasn't been really reports on this of people saying that the Heat are connected to these players, but it's just my gut feeling and the way I've been a Heat fan. I've seen Pat Riley do his thing, and who I think he would like and probably go for. This is what I'm thinking. So just stay with me. This player is Spencer Dinwiddie. Yes, Spencer Dinwiddie from the Brooklyn Nets. Sorry guys, I am all over the place. From the Brooklyn Nets. This man is 27 years old, and he had a pretty good season last year. On a year that Kyrie Irving went to Nets and was pretty much out of the lineup the whole time. And when he was in the lineup, he was complaining about everything. And he probably was a little scared about Spencer Dinwiddie stealing the spotlight from him because Spencer was playing great when Kyrie was probably not. Now Spencer averaged 20.6 points last year, 3.5 rebounds, and 6.8 assists in 64 games. 41% shooting from the field, 30% shooting from three-point land, 77% shooting from free throw land. Not bad, honestly, especially for this contract. Now listen to this contract. Those numbers are pretty good for this contract. He has a 1 year contract, which means he's on the books for next year, and then he has a player option for the following year. In 2021, he has a player option. But the salary numbers aren't big. 11.4 mil for next year, tiny, very tiny, and 12.3 for the following year if he picks up his option. But if he's averaging numbers like this, he's probably not going to pick up that option. So he'll probably end up being a free agent. Now this right here is another experiment type trade. And this is all going to depend on how the Heat feel on Goran Dragic. Is Goran Dragic really damaged goods now? Is he ever going to be able to produce near what he was producing last season for us? Because if the Heat do strongly feel like he cannot, we definitely are going to need a veteran point guard in general, to get in there and help us with any of these moves, any of these changes that we got to do. So I like Spencer Dinwiddie. I think he can be a good Heat player. He doesn't play a lot of defense, but offensively, I think he'll be fitting like a glove in our offense, honestly, because he could play off the ball, he could play on the ball. He's pretty clutch, honestly, and I just like his game, and I like his contract. It keeps us flexible because of his contract being little. Of course, if he opts out, then we have a decision to make. Do we have to sign Spencer, maybe some other guys? It gets complicated after that, but I think it just sheds a light on like which way we're going. Are we going to go big or we're going to stay small. And if Spencer Dinwiddie's a trade, we go small. Now, I still think we can sign Goran Dragic if we can do this trade. And let me tell you the trade first. So the trade for me would be Iggy and Duncan Robinson, because again, we have to give up value to get value. Okay, as much as I like Duncan Robinson, I just think like he's a hot name right now, and we can sell on his name right now if we wanted to. And you know what? For this, we might have to throw in like KZ Okpala or Chris Silva as a little, here's a little treat on top for you guys, a little cherry on top, because these guys might be good for you guys. Or we might have to give up the 2020 pick. Maybe Kendrick Nunn, but I wouldn't give Kendrick Nunn. I wouldn't, me, myself. But I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up trading Iggy, DR, and Kendrick Nunn for Spencer. But I'm hesitant in doing that much myself. Now, I think that would be a great rotation of guards. Let's say we re-sign Goran. We get Spencer, Goran, and Tyler Hero as our three guards, rotating in and out. Because, hey guys, Spencer Dinwiddie is 6'6", playing point guard. He's pretty tall. He's a pretty big guy. He can play the shooting guard position. He could probably even play the small forward position. So he's very flexible. And the way we are with versatility in our team, golden. So I like this guy. I wouldn't mind this trade. Let me know what you guys think. All right. This next player, for some reason, my mind just thinks that if he wore a Heat uniform, Coach Spo and this team will transform him into a really, really good player and really have him reach his potential. I don't know why. I really don't know why. And I think it's more because he's a good off-the-ball player, and he does better when the light's not shining on him, but he's allowed the opportunity to shine what he's really good at. I think the Heat can really bring out the best in this kid. Who is this guy? Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic. Yes, Aaron Gordon, the same guy who lost to Derrick Jones Jr. in the 2020 Slam Dunk Contest. Now I know, does he really want to come to Miami? I don't know. I'm sure Dwayne Wade soured stuff up, but the opportunity to play for a championship organization and have an opportunity to win a championship, I think eventually he'll think about it and just get over it pretty quick. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, Aaron Gordon, 25 years old, guys. 25 years old. And I like a lot of things about this guy. I mean, he's a big body. He can play the 3 or the 4. And really what I'm thinking about is him starting at the 4 next to Bam. And last year he averaged 14.4 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. 3.7 assists is pretty good, honestly. That really shined to me. I was like, wow, this guy can create a little offense. So he's another playmaker, honestly. He shot 43% from the field, 30% from three-point land, and 67% from the free throw. Now, I know what you're saying, like, that's not crazy good numbers. But you have to think about the team he played for. It was the Magic. They drafted Jonathan Isaac. They had Al-Farouq Amino. They have Nikola Vucevic. They have so many big guys on that team that he gets lost in the shuffle. And they like to try to play him at 3. But I honestly think Aaron Gordon shines at the 4 because of his athleticism. You allow this guy to use his quickness, his strength, his hops to go over these other 4s in the league. You let him take advantage of his God-given gifts. And I think the Heat would love this kid's gifts. And what I think he has potential is because of the numbers he put up 2 seasons ago. 2017, 2018, this guy averaged 17.5 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. Shooting around 43% still at the field goal, 33% three-point land, and 69% for free throw. That to me screams this kid has got something. He can do something. He can probably help us reach another level. I really do think that. And I would love this guy because of his contract too. He only has 2 years left. So yes, he will eat up some of the 2021 cap space. I know that. But his contract gets smaller. He signed the most friendliest team contract of all time, guys. Where his contract just ends up going smaller. Instead of going higher, like everybody else's, it ends up going smaller. It just downhill trajectory. And it's amazing. Or I don't know. I don't even know how the mirror is gonna work here. You probably don't see because I have the picture up. Um, but so he has 2 years left, 18 mil in the upcoming year, and then 2021 season 16.5 mil. It goes down a 1.5 mil. That's 1.5 mil is like signing a veteran minimum or using, who knows? That's a lot of money that can be towards somebody else. That's winning. That's winning the trade, and I don't think we have to give up a lot of players for him because the Magic are an organization who I worked for and I have nothing but respect for, but I will just say that they care a lot about their image. And maybe to the point it's too much and it hurts them on the court. Where they want to be this squeaky clean organization that doesn't get in trouble and does things right and plays hard and hopes for the best, basically. And so they're going to want players that are kind of in that realm. And I think we have some of those players to give them. And for me, it's just, I would just give up Iggy and Kendrick Nunn. Maybe you have to take out Kendrick Nunn and put in Duncan Robinson. Maybe you could put KO in instead of Iggy, which I prefer. Like my preferred trade would be KO and Nunn and the 2020 pick. Like that would be my preferred trade. But I don't see the Magic biting on that. I see the Magic biting on this. KO, Duncan Robinson, KO, Kendrick Nunn, and the 2020 pick. If you give them those three things, I think it's a lock. I think they will be like, it's cool, take them, see you next, whatever. But another thing is, I know this for sure about the Magic. The Magic hate the Heat because the Heat own Florida, basically. Except Central Florida. Except that Orlando area, no one likes the Heat. But anywhere else in Florida, it's the Heat Nation. Even though Orlando, their TV rights are all North Florida, from like Central Florida to all of the Panhandle. If you go on Fox Sports, you're not watching Heat basketball. You're watching Orlando Magic basketball. But it doesn't matter because I think everybody else is still Heat Nation. Even if you can't watch the damn games. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I honestly will like to get... Again, he's 25 years old, guys. His contract gets smaller. He can really help us. He's filling on a role he can really do. So I really like this guy. We'll see. Now, here's a name that everyone's been screaming about that he should get traded, and there's recently been reported that the Heat, and I think when people say the Heat, I think they merely mean Pat Riley, like this guy. And it's just because he's a superstar and he can play defense, and he's been in the MVP conversations a couple years ago, and he's still a pretty good player, though in the playoffs this guy just does not show up for some reason. But I think the Heat don't care because the guy has accolades that go on a page pretty well. Who am I talking about? And you probably haven't figured out already. That guy is Paul George of the LA Clippers. He's 30 years old, and he had a okay season, and he didn't have a great bubble, and it wasn't pretty at all. But I can't deny the fact that this guy can play basketball. He is a very good player. His stats last year in 48 games was 21.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. He was shooting 43% from the field, 41% from three-point land, and 87% from the free throw line. That's pretty good offensive numbers. I mean, that's balling offensively. And defensively, I don't even have those numbers, but the guy can play defense. He's very long-armed. He can move his feet very well, and he's got great timing on defense. And I think he's a good player. And his contract's very nice. I mean, honestly, it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad thing to consider when you think about it. But I don't see the Clippers trading him. Though his contract's very good. Like, this is one of the people that we might go after in 2021. So, do we go ahead of plan and just kind of get him? Maybe. I mean, he's getting paid $35.3 million upcoming season, and then he has a player option for the following year at $38 million, which will most likely decline to get a better paycheck. But I mean, there's no denying the guy can play, and he could definitely take our playing to another level because he's very versatile still. He can bring up the ball. He can play shooting guard. He can play small forward. He could probably play power forward a little bit in the way Coach Spo likes to play. He might be able to do that, though I think his frame's a little a little weak, but this is me. And I would have to say though, to get this guy will be everything we have to give. We have to give up everything, and the Clippers will want everything because they gave up everything for him. So I don't see it happening. But here's a trade that I think would happen if the Heat were to trade for this man, and that's Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, and even the 2020 pick. Yes, we have to give them everything we have right now in our disposal for this one man. And it's a risk, guys, because what if he doesn't have a good time in Miami? What if the Heat culture doesn't, vibe with him? He does not like it. He thinks that they push him too hard, and I'm a little worried because the guy has gone in trouble with strippers before, and Miami is known for strippers, especially South Beach. So this guy could get into some trouble, and I don't think it's just worth the risk. A lot of those players that we'd be trading, 3 of those players have potential to be better than they are now, and even better than possibly Paul George. At least Tyler Hero, in my eyes, could have the potential to maybe be better than Paul George. You never know. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and if he probably had more years on his contract, maybe I'd be okay with it. Maybe if he had that second year guaranteed and he had the player option for the 2022 season, I'll be leaning more towards the trade. But it's just so much of a risk that, and the way he's been flaky in his off seasons, and he said he was a Pacer, and then he didn't want to be a Pacer, and he got traded to the OKC, and then he kept saying he was gonna go to LA, and he didn't go to LA. He stayed in OKC, and then he left OKC, and the sign of trouble, he left OKC to go to LA, and and he went to LA finally, and he still didn't do shit. So it's a big risk, and I'm not liking it. I wouldn't do it. It's up there. So for me, no. Now, Drew Holiday is the last player on this list of the maybes, people we might trade for. And Drew Holiday, I like a lot. I mean, Drew Holiday from the Pelicans, and this is a name that's been going around for months and probably a year now, because he's a really good player. He can play defense very well. He can play offense very well. You can play point guard, shooting guard, small forward. He's very versatile. Definitely Heat culture type guy. And he's 30 years old. And he's a veteran. He was an all-star. So, but it's a lot of ifs. Again, it's a lot of ifs in his contract. So let's look at the numbers though. 61 games last year, 19.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, 6.7 assists. Pretty solid numbers. 45% from the field, 35% from three-point land, better than I thought. 76% from the free throw line. And that's a pretty good year. Honestly, he could have been an all-star in the East probably, but he's playing in the West, so he wasn't an all-star. But those are pretty good, solid numbers for a 30-year-old, and that I think any team in the NBA would love to have him on their roster. Though for us, it's this contract like Paul George that just doesn't vibe with us. It's just not the right timing for us. Now he has the same thing with Paul George. He has 1 year right. He's guaranteed for next year. He has a player option for the following year. So that contract is $26 million for next year. And if he picks up the option, $27 million for the 2021-2022 season. And those are not bad numbers to pay him. Like, those are actually pretty solid salary, but I could see him declining the option and looking at the landscape. Though I don't think he'll hate Miami or hate Heat culture. I think he actually will thrive in it and like it myself, because he's a hard worker. I mean, if you guys look at his life off the court, he's been through some stuff recently, like stuff with his wife, his kids, money, and all this other stuff. Like, if you go look into it, if you want. I mean, the guy's been grinding on and off the court, and I think he'll just fit great like a glove in the Heat uniform. But who I think we have to give up for him might not be worth it. So, because I don't think he elevates us enough from what we have to lose to what we gain. I don't know if it's enough that elevates us to a top-notch spot. So this is my trade, who I think we'll have to give up. It'll have to be Iggy. It'll have to be Kelly Olynyk. And it will probably have to be Duncan Robinson. Those 3 guys on top of the 2020 pick. And I think that because I think the Pelicans are still trying to get better while preserving assets for the future. and that gets them that. They get some cap space relief soon after 1 year because Iggy and KO come off the bench. Duncan Robinson's a young player that they can probably pay to keep him. And then the 2020 pick can be something. Who knows who they draft at 2020 and the 20th pick, and they get somebody good, or they could trade the pick. They can trade the pick off again. Who knows? So I can definitely see that happening. But for us, for the Heat, it's not a good enough trade. We don't get enough back. And yes, I know a lot of these trades is just us getting one player back, and it's because we don't. It's because of the money thing, guys. And honestly, when I look at those rosters, I really don't want anybody to come. I think anybody they could offer us, we can sign for cheaper, or a better player for cheaper on the free agent market for the coming. So I'm acting GM right now, so I'm just gonna try to trade for this one guy and try to get as much as I can for the assets we currently have. So just remember that. So that's tough. That's very tough. And I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Though Drew Holiday will be great on the Heat uniform. He'll look great in the Heat uniform. He'll fit in very well next to Jimmy. And Jimmy has nothing but respect for him because Jimmy calls Drew Holiday for himself. He's the most underrated, talented offensive player ever because people apparently underrate his skills, and he can do more than he shows, which I can believe. But you know what it is? I don't know if he's that clutch player we need. And I think that's what we're looking for, really. The next guy we need to get is someone who has a clutch gene, and especially the guard position. We need someone with a clutch gene. And maybe Tyler Hero's going to be that guy. Maybe he grows into that guy. And maybe we don't have to sign or trade for that guy because we already have him. But I think the Heat are going to try to get somebody. And for me, Drew Holiday doesn't have that gene. He's just a very good team player, a very good basketball player that fits in well anywhere and fit in great with the Heat. Simple. Now, I have two more trades to talk about. And these trades are wild trades. Honestly, these trades probably won't happen, but these are trades that if I'm wrong about Pat Riley, and if Pat Riley was just blowing smoke up our butt during his address, and he thinks he needs to make a move now. He needs to sell now his assets and try to get something back, just like the Shaq. This is like our Shaq 2004 trades. This is basically that I'm trying to do here. But I don't know. These are wild trades, and I don't want you guys to think that these can actually happen in the world of possibility. Of course they can happen, but I think if we're gonna swing for the fences and just say, hey, we're gonna cash in now and try to get better quick and go again for this championship run and make our team better right now for the championship, these are two trades that I would not mind, though it'll hurt a little bit. But let me let you know, and you guys tell me your opinions on what you guys think about this. So, my first trade is with the Indiana Pacers. And the two players we'll be trading for is Victor Oladipo, and there's been wide reports everywhere that he wants to come to Miami, and then he wants it, if he becomes a free agent in 2021, his first destination in his list is Miami. Though Miami's not, Miami doesn't have him high on their list, and that's because Kawhi, Paul George, Giannis, all these other people are potential free agents that they should be higher than Victor Oladipo, so he shouldn't take offense of that. And now my second player in that trade is Miles Turner. Yes, Miles Turner. Why would the Patriots want to trade Miles Turner? It's because they got Domantas Sabonis. Why would they want to trade Victor Oladipo? It's because they got Jeremy Lamb and Malcolm Brogdon and Aaron Holiday, and they have a lot of other young players that are coming up. And they can sell these guys to get better. So right now, what I'm doing is seeing that these two teams can help each other out. Hey, you're missing something and you want to do something to get better. We're missing something, or we think we're missing something, or we're trying to look for the thing we're missing, and we need to get better. And this is not bad. So let's start with Victor. Victor Oladipo, 28 years old, right? He has 1 year left in his contract for next year. And that's next year, $21 million. Not too bad, not too high. And he played 19 games last year because he got hurt, and he got hurt again, and then slowly came back, and he came back for the bubble. He averaged 14.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.9 assists, shooting 39% from the field, 31% from three-point land, and 81% from the free throw line. Not terrible numbers, but not the numbers you want when you're paying someone 21 mil. Though we have to remember he was coming back from an injury, and this whole team was different from the year before, and all that. And there's a lot of factors that come into it. So who knows if it's just all those factors playing into his numbers, or if he's losing a step. The eyeball test, he lost a little bit, but I don't know if it's him being mentally cautious or if it's 100% him just physically losing steps. I don't know, because if we can get the Depot from a couple years ago, from just 2 seasons ago, that became an all-star, he averaged 18.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 5.2 assists. I mean, that's some good solid numbers. Shooting and averaging 1.7 steals while shooting 42% from the field, 34% from three, 77% from the free throw line. I mean, those are some pretty good numbers. And I won't lie, like, those are pretty good. And he had a clutch gene. He's a little bit of like Dwayne Wade. Before the injury and before, when he was with the Magic, I used to think he was like a Dwayne Wade type player, like he can grow into Dwayne Wade. And he really is. And he's that good, I think. Not as good as Dwayne Wade, but like he has that skill set. He just doesn't do it consistently enough or clutch enough. But he's pretty good, honestly. Though we just don't know what he's bringing. Again, this is the Heat, trying to do something. It's a low risk, high reward, honestly, because he comes off the books in the following year. So if we lose him, it is what it is. We lost him. Cool. It is what it is. Because the next player that we get in this trade is Miles Turner, right? Miles Turner has 3 years left in his contract at 18 mil each year. That's cheap. For me, I think that's cheap for a modern day big man. I mean, that's perfect. That's what you want to pay your modern day big man. And I think Miles Turner played great in the bubble. He played great in our series. I really liked Miles Turner against the Heat. He definitely showed that size hurts us, and definitely a size that can shoot hurts us a lot. Because he kept the Pacers in that series as much as he can. They just didn't have enough to beat us. But he was very good. Very, very good. Last year, he played 62 games, 12.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks. 45% shooting from the field, 34% shooting from three-point land, 75% shooting from the free throw line. Now you're like, those are not crazy numbers. Okay, guys, remember, he was playing next to Domantas Sabonis, and there's a bunch of new faces on that team, and they're trying to do some new stuff. And I think he was affected by that, honestly. And that's why the Pacers are looking to move him, I think. And a lot of talks are right now that they might trade him to Boston for Gordon Hayward, and Gordon Hayward's a local Indiana boy. So it's a make good story, and there's only 1 year contract left on Gordon Hayward, so they get they get the good feel story, and they get a good player that can help the team, while Miles Turner goes to the Celtics, and he's a good player that can help that team because they need size. It's a good story all around, but I think it helps us too. Like, Miles Turner next to Bam, defensively, ooh, that's scary for the league. I mean, definitely we can go against the Lakers then. If we had Miles Turner on our team, we can definitely go against the Lakers. Let's go again. Bring it back. Because I'll put Miles Turner on AD all day, and I'll put Bam on LeBron. Let's go. Let's see what you got. Bring it. Bring it. And then you still got Depot, and you still got Jimmy. And I think, honestly, with this money, we might be able to sign Goran Dragic still. Now, you guys are going to ask, who are we giving up, though? Who we got to lose for this two players that can probably make our team way better and compete for championships for next year and beyond? Okay, good question. That trade is, and it's a whole lot, guys. Iggy, KO, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, and we'll probably have to give up Tyler Hero or the 2020 pick. Of course, I prefer the 2020 pick over Tyler Hero, and I think that would be enough, but we might have to throw in Tyler Hero instead, and then kind of bank on that 2020 pick in our scouting, department to get somebody that can help us. Is that a lot? Maybe. Maybe it's a lot. But I don't hate it, guys. I don't hate it because Victor comes off the books, and there's so many other things that can happen. I don't hate this trade at all. I I have a fondness for this trade for some reason. When I think about it, it's just. But the only thing is that for me and for everybody at home, probably thinking a lot of things have to go right for this trade to go the way we planned in our head, right? And you're right. It had a lot of things have to go right. So in the back of my head, no, I won't do this. Like, if I had to make a decision today, right now, and someone called me and go, "Are you in or out?" I'll say out because it's a lot and there's a lot of risk there. But let's say if Pat Riley did this, I wouldn't hate it because the potential of this trade has for us to be good is very high. We have a high ceiling with this trade. We just have to hope a lot of things go right for this to be very successful. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. Again, these are wild trades that I think can help us, but a lot of things have to go right for at least for this one. So, do we do it? Pat Riley's Pat Riley. He traded for Shaq. He traded Lamar Odom, Brian Grant, Caron Butler, and a pick for Shaquille O'Neal. That's basically what we're doing, with this trade. Of course, it's not Shaq. It's not a proven championship winner, but we're getting two pretty good players, an all-star, and a pretty good big man that can get better because guys, Victor Oladipo is only 28. Miles Turner is only 24. 24. He'll be 27 when the contract ends. That's pretty good, guys, and he's a modern big man, and he can play at the pace of today's game. So, just saying, he can shoot. The guy can shoot. Let me know what you guys think about this. If I'm making your wheels turn, let me know. Let me know. Now, my last final trade of the day. And this one's this is shooting for the stars type trade, I think. Because it makes everyone happy a little bit, except the team that we have to do a trade with. I don't think they're going to be happy with us, and I don't think they will do it. But let me let you guys know what it is. It's with the Philadelphia 76ers, and we'll be getting Joel Embiid and Josh Richardson. Yeah, we will have to call the 76ers again and go, "Hey, guys, we had a good trade we had a successful trade for us with you guys last season, but would you guys want to trade again? And we'll probably we'll take your other superstar." And, it's, I mean, honestly, right now, this trade about to tell you guys, I mean, a lot of things have to go wrong in Philly and a lot of things have to go wrong around the league for this trade to go right. But the thought of it makes me really happy, so I want to share it with you guys. And again, this is the last trade, so stick with me. So Joel Embiid, let's talk about him a little bit, though. This guy is good. Really good. It's to the point where I hate admitting that he's good because I've never really liked his off-the-court antics, even though on the court he's not bad. I think he has the potential to be great. I just don't think this has been a coach that has been able to. Brett Brown has not been able to get the best out of this guy. He hasn't put him in the best position, and he hasn't been able to actually just get him to be locked and focused for a full season. I don't think he's been able to do that. So, but when he's not even focused the whole time, he plays 51 games, averages 23 points, 11.6 rebounds, and 3 assists while shooting 47% from the field, 33% from three-point land, and 80% from the free throw line. Excuse the dogs barking in the background because my dogs are crazy. And, I mean, let me let you guys know that career-wise, he's averaged 1.3 blocks a game. So, defensively, very, not bad. He's very tall, over 7 feet. And, like I said, he can shoot. So, I think him next to Bam, yes, we're not trading Bam, can be very good. Not bad. Now, the contract's a little crazy. 3 years left, 29.5 next year, 31.5 the following year, and then 33.6 the following year after that. So he grows $2 million each year until the contract ends. 26-year-old kid. So he'll be 29 when the contract ends. Now injury prone is a thing. He's very injury prone, but Jimmy Butler likes this guy. Him and Jimmy Butler are close, like this, very close, and I can see it working, but my concern is really his health and the drive. the Heat culture, I think, can really transform this guy to get better in shape, and he'll have a lot of support. I think he'll have support of former players. He'll get to talk to Chris Bosh on the regular. You get to talk to Alonzo Mourning on the regular. You know, Malik Allen, Juwan Howard. I'm sure you can call up. Bob McAdoo you can call up, and these are all former past coaches and players. Look them up if you have to. And I think, we can definitely groom this man to become a great player. A lot of things have to go right. Now, of course, the other player we'll be trading for is Josh Richardson at 27. Do I really have to explain why we need Josh Richardson back? I'm sure all you guys still love Josh Richardson. I love Josh Richardson to the point where he was on my fantasy team last year, and it didn't work out because Philly didn't work out, but I like his game that much that I was hoping that Philly would have unlocked it. I thought playing next to Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, this guy was going to shoot three-pointers all day. I mean, this guy was going to be open, right? That wasn't the case because the way the Sixers play basketball is ugly, and they don't know how to use their players, but it is what it is. In 55 games last year, he averaged 13.7 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.9 assists, which is not the greatest numbers while shooting 43% shooting, 34% from three-point land, 80% from the free throw line. Yeah. I'm throwing out the system, though. The system messed him up. Because the year before that, with the Heat, when he played 73 games for us, and he started, he basically was our superstar. That's what he was. He is what it is, next to Dragic. 16.6 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. I mean, while shooting 41% from the field, 35% from three-point land, and 86% from the free throw line. Very good. And the contract's very nice. And, it's man, I would love to see this guy back. See him back. And he might be back because his contract is guaranteed till next year. He has a 1-1 contract, meaning he has a player option for the year after next season. So next season he gets guaranteed 10.8, and then if he doesn't opt out, he gets 11.6 as a player option. That's not bad for the numbers he's averaging. That's pretty good. You're paying for what you're getting, And I think Josh Richardson was on the path with the Heat development crew that he could have been averaging 20 points maybe this year. If the Heat never traded Jimmy Butler. Or let's say the Heat traded Justice Winslow instead of Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler. I wouldn't have been surprised if Josh Richardson would have averaged 20 points for the Heat. Would not be surprised. And I think he still has the skills to do that because he didn't get hurt last year. It was nothing like that. If anything, he just really hated that culture. He coming from the Heat culture, going to Philly, he hated it. While Jimmy came from it and went to the Heat culture and he loves it. So you can see that something's wrong with Philly. Philly, the players you're getting are hating it. The players that are going are loving it because they're not dealing with you anymore. So Philly, if you're listening, you got to fix this, bro. You got to fix this quick. But anyways, so I would love Josh Richardson. I always think about if you would have traded Justin Winslow instead of Josh Richardson. I mean, God only knows what would have happened. But here's my trade. That's probably never going to happen. But hear me out. Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, and the 2020 pick. 2020 pick. The 320s pick. We're going to, because it is the 2020 pick. When you think about it, it's 2020 and they got the 20th pick. 2020 pick. I just made that up. So hashtag 2020. I copped that. Don't steal it. Now, does Philly go for this? Philly only goes for this if their new coach Doc Rivers goes, you know what, guys? I want to build around Ben. Ben is a superstar. Ben's the guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer. And Ben's game is only going to be better if he's surrounded by shooters and smart players. And guess what? This trade gives them all of that. 100%. They're getting an older, good player that's been in the championship series for the last 6 years. You get Kelly O, who's a big man that can shoot. You get Duncan Robinson, who we all know can shoot. You get Kendrick Nunn, who can shoot and be a little bit of a playmaker. So that's like how you make up for Josh Richardson there. And Tyler Hero, who we all know he can shoot and he has a high ceiling. So, and that's pretty much You're giving up Tyler Hero for Joel Embiid, basically. And then the 2020 pick because Sixers are going to be assholes and ask for a sweetener because we took Jimmy Butler away. So that team, I think, those players fit very well with Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. And then I think I think Spo can figure out a way to make Joel Embiid work next to Bam. And of course, Josh Richardson will fit like a glove again with the Heat culture. I don't care what anyone says. He will fit great. He can start next to Jimmy. That would be great defensively. Oof, I mean, that defensively would be awesome to watch. And then you got behind them is just Bam and Joel Embiid. That's scary. Like, think about that, guys. Think about a starting lineup of Goran Dragic, Josh Richardson, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Joel Embiid. How crazy! Of course, now we gotta do a bunch of free agency signings. We gotta do some undrafted signees. Yes, we gotta. The role players are gonna be totally new next year if that happens. I get it, but that starting lineup though, that's scary. I mean, Bam can still be the playmaker, and you're still surrounding him with shooters. I mean, Joel Embiid can shoot. And I think he's a better shooter off the ball. He can become a better shooter off the ball. If he doesn't have to dribble so long and keep himself out of the paint, if he was just already out of the paint on purpose, so then Bam can operate and then pass if he needs to, perfect. And then if anything happens, Joel can come in for the rebound. I mean, it's just, my mind blows up because I think Spo would have a field day with this team. Because he'll be able to and be so versatile, and then we just gotta sign a bunch of good players that want to come. And trust me, if we make that trade, there'll be players that want to come. We'll have some good players to pick from because players will see the potential, the championship potential in that team. Now, does Philly do this? Probably not. Like, there'll probably be better trades than this. This would just, like I said, both the Philly trade and the Indy trade would just have to be a lot of things go wrong for them and a lot of things go right for us. That's all it is. Like, just like the NBA Finals. A lot of luck is needed. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that, just to think of those are the kind of trades though that Pat Riley will look for, and he will do if he believes the trade will work, and he believes that the trade will make us to championship contenders, which these trades I think will do. I honestly do think that. ND trade gets us Miles Turner for a couple of years while getting Victor Oladipo and getting his money off the books, so we stay flexible a little bit. We'll have a little bit of money. We won't have a lot of money. We'll have a little bit of money. Then, and he's still young, Miles Turner, so if we had to trade Miles Turner, we'd trade Miles Turner, whatever. And then Joel Embiid is right now a bona fide superstar. So you're getting a bona fide superstar while you're getting Josh Richardson, who's a great role player who can still grow a little bit. And I don't think he's had a breakout season yet. I think there's going to be 1 year, a season he has that is going to be great. And who knows if it's next year, but it's going to be soon. And I think Josh Richardson just loves Miami, and he will give us home discounts, honestly. It's like I said, though, a lot of things have to go right for these trades to happen, but whatever. Let me know what you think, guys. Like, am I crazy to think of these trades? I don't think I am. I honestly don't think I am, but let me know what you guys think. I will appreciate it. So that's my trade episode for you guys. There's some crazy ones in there. I mean, I got Drew Holiday, Paul George, maybe LaMarcus Aldridge, Spencer Dinwiddie, my favorite Aaron Gordon for some reason. I'm crazy. What do you want me to tell you? And then some out of the realm stuff. Oh, maybe Victor Oladipo and Miles Turner will be let go from Indy, or maybe Philly will let go of Joel Embiid and Josh Richardson to the Heat for some reason. I'm asking for way too much here, of course. But, hey, a guy can dream. And like I said, I don't necessarily think we need a trade to get better, and because we have cap space for 2021. But if I know Pat Riley, and I think I do because I've seen him do it all already, and I think this is the year, this is the championship window that he's going to take all the lessons he's learned throughout the years, and he's going to try to just mash them together to make something. So look out, guys. There's going to be a trade. It could be a small trade, it could be a medium trade, or it could be a superstar big trade like the ones I just said in the end. You never know. Don't be surprised, because that's Pat Riley's nature. I think it is. It's just Pat Riley's nature to continue to look for the best ways to make this team better, no matter what it is, and no matter what needs to happen to get there. So don't be surprised. I won't. But all right, guys, I think that's going to be my episode for the day. I appreciate you guys very much for listening and watching. It was fun. I had a lot of fun today, and I think this episode was one of the best ones I've ever done, honestly. Thanks for sticking in there. I know this was a long episode, though. I would expect the Wednesday episodes to be longer, and then the Friday episodes to be smaller. And remember, though, that this is only till the season starts. Whenever the season starts, I'll go back to making reaction videos and stuff like that. And then most likely I'll try to have one day a week where I have like a special feature video talking about something else Heat related. But we'll get into that. I plan on growing this. I have nothing but time right now. It is what it is. So look out for that. Please send me guys your questions. Hit me up on Facebook, Twitter. Email me, heatvlogspot@gmail.com. I appreciate it. Hit follow, like, subscribe on anything you're listening on, especially YouTube. I appreciate it. If you guys can, please share this. I do need your help. So thank you for your help. And yeah, this has been a blast. So again, guys, have a great day. Have a great night. See you guys on Friday. Thank you so much for watching and listening.